Yeah, it was really interesting. I've been living in a temporary apartment for quite a while now. And I was really just wanting to kind of prepare for my next move, not knowing what that was going to be. And I wasn't sure like exactly when I was going to be able to move. But I wanted this to feel like my home, while I was here. And it just wasn't really feeling like my home. Um, that's the thing that was really bothering me. So, when I came to you, my real intention was to just make this feel like, my real home, and then have it help transition me. And so what I ended up finding out were all these just such interesting things about the space, and about, how to look at space and feel in it, and personality wise, what the space can tell you, and how we can put remedies into place to make it more conducive to positive energy and flowing energy. So I think that the main thing I discovered was, as we put these remedies into place, I actually did start to feel, like, not only did it feel more like a home to me, but I felt like I could relate to the space better. I felt like it was, like you referred to it kind of like as a living organism. And when I started to think of it that way, I was like, well, if that's what it is, then I must relate to it that way. So that it's been such an incredible thing. I definitely feel more flow, more energy flowing in my space when I walk in. Like I have like a real sense of how I feel in the space, like what's kind of like, what it gives to me. It's such an interesting thing. And I've been decorating more too. I've been adding more art. I've been adding like my plants and things that I love, in addition to the remedies that I put in. So, yeah, it's just been a really lovely experience. I think that it's given me just more of a safe haven to work in. I feel like it's like more, I feel more grounded in my business. I enjoy working here, whereas before I kind of felt like, oh, I should go somewhere else to work. Now I've created this nice, space where I can focus on my business and my work, and I feel very supported, is the
Yeah.
best word. I can't recommend it enough. It's like, I've always sort of been into it on my own. So I've always like, in fact, like, I have this book because I live in New York City and we have very small spaces. And there's this amazing book on feng shui for like smaller apartments. And so I've always just done an outline of, my space, and like kind of like known where all the what the directions were, and the different sections. But working, with you on this was so enlightening, because there are so many things, so many nuances, so many things that, I mean, it's a real art. And, so I mean, there's just so many things that you were able to enlighten me on, and sort of work with me on, that I wouldn't have been able to do on my own. So I felt like there was this like really great collaboration that took place, and it really brought such beauty to my home. And I speak of it that way now. I mean, I actually feel so much more alive in my space. And, when I talk about it to other people, like I have a good feeling about it. So that just comes out.
Mm.
So it's wonderful. And I love this space. I mean, it's been really good to me, just because I was in a transition period. I mean, our lives are taking place every single moment. And I didn't want to think of it as like, okay, I don't, like, this means nothing until I move to my real home. No, that didn't sit well with me at all. So,
Mhm.
yeah, I feel like that's the best.
Um,
I'm not sure how it's affected other aspects of my life. I don't know if I can speak to that or not. Well, I mean, I don't know. I guess just my outlook. I mean, I'm sorry if I'm stumbling here. I just don't
okay.
really know. Um, I mean, honestly, I mean, I think the best part though is the grounding that it's given me. I experienced a huge loss. I lost my father this year,
Mhm.
and I was here in this apartment when that took place. And I came back to this apartment after going to his funeral, and coming back here to sort of reckon with that and get myself back on track. And it was very nice to have this feeling that I was coming back to my home. And I kind of felt like this has been my little incubator, to help me get back on track in all the right ways. I also feel like, the care I've taken in decorating and implementing these remedies has given the space like a whole new look and feel. And other people have recognized that as well. So, yeah, and I think because of that, perhaps, I've been able to rest better. I've been able to have more energy. It's, there's really nothing more you could want from your home than to have that support. No, I think the only thing challenging was I was nervous about these things that we needed to remedy in my apartment. I mean, there's a quote block on my apartment. I remember when you told me that, I was like, I jumped up and was like, do I need to move right now? Like, how do you deal with that? And and I was like, then we need to do the remedy like yesterday. So the challenging, no, I don't think it was challenging. It was fun. Yeah. I mean, to order all the things like the metal and figure out how to get flowing water. And then I even went and ordered all the little, like, deities and things to put in all the places and wrote letters. So yeah, I don't know how challenging it was, as much as it was. My challenge was like, how quickly can I get these remedies implemented? Like literally you were like, in about a month, let me know. And I was like, a month? I'm like, like the next day I had them all ordered and I was like, how fast are they going to get here? It's such a personal process. So it's like not work for you because it has to do with your space and you as a person. So it's all about your circumstances. It's all about the space and the direction of the spaces and all of that. Like that's all sort of like already there. But then you combine that with you and your circumstances. And that's when things start to really happen. And so, there's just no question that it works. So and then the question is like, what do you, when you say like, does it work? Like, what do you mean? And if you mean like, you want certain things to be enhanced in your life, you want things to feel better and to be optimized, for lack of a better word, then of course, there's just no question. If you're looking for a miracle for like, like all of a sudden snap of the fingers and like all of a sudden, you have wealth all of a sudden, like that's wishful thinking. I mean, that's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about like real, energetic flow that enhances you and where you are in your own life. And if that's what you're looking for, and then you could take that and run with it, then that's what it's all about.